I want to share the thought of why I think local media brands are the media of the future.
Business on the Bike with Brooks. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not, I'm a bit biased. I've run a local media brand for 10 plus years in my local community. It's called the Mobile Rundown. I'll give you the past and a little bit of like how that started and like what that looks like, but I'll give you personal examples and personal anecdotes of what I think the benefits are to doing that, why you might want to do it, look at doing it, etc. Legacy media has a problem. First of all, people trust legacy media less and less. I'm not sure if you guys think the same thing I think when you see your, like maybe your local news station and it's using this like antiquated technology and you're just like, oh man, God, it's almost cringe, man. And they have these big brands. It's like they're big brands that have one foot stuck in the like 90s and the other foot's like in the modern era. Like they're just kind of straddling a lot of them. Now, some of them are cutting edge and that's cool, but for the most part, they're not. And a lot of people don't trust them. News is scattered. So that's a second reason. News and information about your area, it's scattered. People are gonna find it in a multitude of areas. There's not gonna be one source, and that's fine. That, I think, is actually where lies the opportunity. Whether you as an individual want to put your name, image, and likeness on a brand, like your name and face on a brand, that's one thing you can do. You can create just a company brand, that's fine. You can do that and create trust and do that as well, absolutely. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about our company, but it's not really like, hey, look at this. I'm gonna tell you the story because I'm gonna share through that the things that I've come to learn that are beneficial to creating that local brand, okay? So we started the local brand, the Mobile Rundown, 10 to 12 years ago. So we started as an email. I think our very first email was like, I think we were either using our Gmail accounts or MailChimp or something, and we basically, emailed like a couple hundred friends. And we were like, hey, here's some stuff going on this weekend, or here's what's going on this week. Now, the reason we did this in the first place was because me and this guy, cool friend of mine that lives in the city, we were connected young professionals, but we missed some cool events, and we were like, how did we miss this? Like, what are we missing here? Like, what the heck, man? Like, we're kind of plugged in. And so we just started our own outlet, and that small seed has stayed alive for 12 years and grown into, I'll go ahead and fast forward today and just kind of tell you what it is. It's not like ginormous, but to some people it would be, to small like micropreneurs. So now it's got a website that, has tens of thousands of web visitors every month, over 100,000 on its largest months. Has an email list that we just crossed 11,000 people that we're emailing to on currently a weekly basis, and actually want to increase that and ramp that up. Social media following, 30, 40, 50,000. So maybe 30,000 on Facebook, 10 or so thousand on Instagram. This year I am intending to get the YouTube channel monetized. I think we have 300 or 400 subscribers there. Starting the beginning of the year, I think we had 100 or something, or maybe 6 months ago. So I'm making strategic and we're ramping up content there. But that is where we are today. Oh, let me tell you, so that's the base. That's like the nuts and bolts of the brand, right? Let me share some things that have come out of the brand that are probably things that you wouldn't think of. And honestly, we did not think of them when we were developing. Okay, let me just give you some examples. We have printed 9, 10 different niche print publications. The first ones were before COVID. They were quarterly event guides. So we printed them for free. We sold advertising to events and local companies and whatnot in them, and then we distributed them. So we printed, 5 or 7,000 or something, distributed them around town, and we also promoted it via the digital format, on our website, so people could have this guide, hey, here's all the upcoming stuff that you need to have in your pocket. All right, COVID came, that squashed that, but we had done 6 of those. Well, in that publication, we had this section where we called it Do Some Good. Hey, do some good, Mobile, and we let a nonprofit buy a little print section for super cheap or whatever. Well, that section was always sold out. It was the easiest thing to have sold, where the nonprofit was yep, we're in, absolutely. Well, that led us to an idea. the idea was to launch a standalone publication called Do Some Good Mobile. And we just produced that's a once a year publication where it only highlights nonprofits, and they can, get like a full page, a half page. A company can sponsor the nonprofit so they don't have to pay for it. A company can buy an ad in the magazine and the print publication because, well, they look good, by being in there, so it's a good thing. And the same thing, so we print, 7,000 to 10,000 of those, distribute those around town. The digital version gets promoted in our digital publication, right? So rewind back 10 years, and that was not on the roadmap. It was not on the roadmap for us to we want to, eventually, print this publication and do this thing or whatever. Okay, so that's one interesting thing that's come out of it.
I'll give you another one. Event businesses. So 5 years ago, maybe, we pitched our friends this idea. So we live in the city where Mardi Gras originated. That's Mobile. That's right. So we eat this thing called king cake. You eat it during Mardi Gras. So we said, man, there's not a festival or a fun event around king cake. So we developed this event called King Cake Off. It was kind of like a cook-off, but with king cakes, and people were competing in bakeries and local restaurants and stuff. The people walk around, they taste king cakes, listen to music, they vote, get some drinks, whatever. It's a great time. So in its most recent year,
it's now like a 1,500 person event. It's a ticketed event. It kind of based on the venue. The venues move because we've kind of had to outgrow certain venues and whatnot, but in essence, sellout event. We've sold out the majority of those events. I think this last one, maybe the day of, they sold out or something like that. But there's capacity, so there's only so many people you can have in the event, et cetera, et cetera. So we brought on a nonprofit to be our partner a few years back, and then recently it was handed off to them. So now it's their third or fourth or whatever, big fundraiser of the year. Super cool. Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Alabama, shout out to them. They were our partners, and that super great organization. So they're a nonprofit organization, and so now it's a big fundraiser for them, and they're able to get some big partners. There's a big bank that's a title sponsor of the event. Okay. Another side note, if you want side hustle ideas, I keep a running list. I've got a list of 100 plus, I think. So if you want to get overflowed and overwhelmed with business ideas, I got you. Just sign up for my email list. You can Google Brooks Conkle. You can go to my website, you sign up at the top. You can go to fulltimesidehustler.com. Same place, it'll get you there. You just sign up with your email. The other thing I do is actually update folks every week with my projects and what I'm doing and what's going on, which I think is kind of cool. It gives me an outlet to talk about it, but it also, I think it's helpful for people to be able to see what's possible. And some stuff is working and some stuff is not, right? And if it's not working, I'm hey, this isn't, this is slowly growing, or this is booming, or whatever. And I'm very diversified and have a lot of different things. And so maybe that'll be helpful for you. So rewind back, that wasn't on the horizon. Okay. Well, something else that we did recently was we threw our first. Well, we've now thrown two. We have our third coming up. A silent disco. So I'd always wanted to go to a silent disco. I had never been, and I was like, doggone it, let's throw our own silent disco. So I had the opportunity to use Alibaba, which is pretty cool. So I'd always heard of it. I'd never worked with, a manufacturer overseas, but I was able to communicate with some, order my own set. Oh, well, I already forgot this. For the first event, I rented headsets. I didn't buy my own for the first event. I rented headsets for the first event. That's actually what led me to realize hey, I could probably, I want to do more of these. I could probably just buy my own. I could probably buy my own headsets or whatever. Long story there, but those headsets that I rented, great company, had a great time working with them. It was good, the communication, but the headsets came in the day before, which kind of freaked me out. They're supposed to show up 3 days, I think, before the event. Getting them literally the day before kind of made me nervous, I had to rearrange a schedule for a UPS guy and all that kind of stuff, whatever. That was kind of crazy. So, but the event was fun. The event was awesome. The way that we promoted for the event was through the Mobile Rundown, was through our local media company. So our newsletter, social media, et cetera, et cetera. That's how we promoted the event. And it went well. it was profitable. Like that wasn't my goal. My goal was just to have my goal was to have a good time. It was the birthday, I guess the 12th birthday of the Mobile Rundown. It was also my birthday. I was turning 40 and I was like, oh, cool, we'll throw the silent disco event, why not? And so we did it. And I was just trying not to like lose money. I was like, well, you know, hopefully I don't like really have to come out of pocket. Well, we ended up like, you know, ended up being a profitable event. And that's what led me to say, man, let's like, cool, like that was a good time. That was a blast. Let's do more of these. And so that's what led me to ordering the headsets. So we have 125 headsets. And I'm actually now looking for a partner for that to bring in, because I'm quite certain that with some focus, it can be, you know, a six-figure business on its own, because we can rent out our equipment locally to people, even like within an hour, you know, like people that want to produce their own silent discos. Like it's not that difficult to do. It's not that crazy. You just have to have the equipment, right? So you have to be able to rent the equipment out. So like that's a potential business on its own, but we're gonna produce more of them mainly for fun and as another additional revenue stream for the local media brand. So like rewind back 12 years, that was something that was not on my radar. You know, obviously doing that event or doing these events, it wasn't a part of the business plan. I'll give you one more that I am in the middle and I almost have it all figured out. I'm really close, but I have a real estate license. I have a real estate broker's license. I've had it for more than 10 years, which means I can make commission on real estate transactions. Now, I don't have the time to be a typical real estate agent, but what I do have the time to do is grow my content business, grow my local media business, and strategically talk about neighborhoods and real estate. So what I'm having to do, and this is kind of the hard part, but like, is to be able to have the right software to get people onboarded that want to just like check out some homes and stuff once they get into my content wheelhouse, and then have the proper agents and the team to be able to hand off those leads to. It's not a seamless thing. It's not like as simple as like your normal affiliate marketing where someone clicks a link, buys something, and you get paid a commission. Like I'm trying to figure out how to make it that easy. It's just not currently that easy. But once I get that figured out, I've kind of run some numbers, and I think I can pretty easily generate, you know, tens of thousands of additional revenue per year, maybe possibly even, you know, six figures and beyond. I'm always conservative. I'm pretty conservative with all these numbers that I put out there. One last piece that I'm pretty genuinely excited about, and that is the use of Beehiiv. Like I never thought I'd be so genuinely excited about an email platform that we're using. So I switched from ConvertKit to Beehiiv. Now look, I like ConvertKit. The owner's a super cool dude. It's a cool company. They did something that frustrated me. It had to do with the annual billing plan and downgrading and upgrading and all that. I won't get into that story. I made a whole YouTube video on that. If you want to find it, you can, or if you just really want to know, look me up and I'll make sure that you get that story. Long story short though, I was like, ooh, this cool hip company's coming out called Beehiiv. They're brand new. They were, you know, they did not have tons of customers when I hopped on board. I loved them then already, and I love them even more now. So what it's allowed us to do is really focus on our newsletter as almost a business of its own. Here's why. They have sponsorships built in where they're selling sponsorships and we can insert those sponsors. So it's almost like they're on my team as a sales member, like they're helping us sell. And it's seamless. I just choose the date when we want it to be on there. I click a button and cool, it goes in, there's a sponsor. There's a referral program built in so our readers can refer readers. It costs me $0. I give people like shout outs and cool stuff like that. They refer their friends. Easy, simple, once you set it up. And it's like, I don't have to spend ads or additional money. It's just like a feature that comes with it. So like, that's pretty amazing. There's also these boost where all the newsletters basically in the program can promote your newsletter and you pay them for subscribers, and then you can do the same back to them. So there's this like circulation of money and subscribers, so like within the Beehiiv network that you can grow, and it's just cool. It's been cool. It's cool dealing with the company anytime I have issues. Customer support's pretty amazing. They're active like crazy on social platforms and all that kind of stuff. And so I am an affiliate of them, but they're my favorite company of the year. So like I'm thinking about going hard on working more with them, like to promote them and try to actually strategically, not just like, hey, cool, we use this, but to be like, hey, you know, if you use some of these other brands, sorry, you know, like MailChimp, I moved a client from MailChimp, or if you use ConvertKit, you know, so I saved the MailChimp customer $2,000 per year. I was like, look, man, you're gonna save $2,000 and I just like this platform better. He's like, yep, cool, done. So it's like, so I have a link. If you use my link, you would save 20% for 3 months. Plus, I would give you feedback and help and stuff like that, right? So I'll give you a full on consultation call, and we can talk through it. Now, right now, I think I'm gonna go get some ice cream. If you can hear the ice cream truck in the background. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. See ya.
Business on the Bike with Brooks. Yeah.